Federal court has blocked Texas from using a new congressional map that was designed to strengthen Republican representation in next year's midterm elections. And Texas Governor Greg Abbott has called the ruling absurd, and he immediately filed a notice to appeal to the Supreme Court. Well, joining me now is Washington Stand reporter Casey Harper. Casey, as always, thanks for joining us. All right, this redistricting battle seems like it just keeps on escalating week after week. What's the court saying specifically about this Texas case?
Yeah, Jody, if it does make it to the Supreme Court, the whole country will be watching. It has huge implications. But this most recent court ruling said that the map was drawn based on race, which is quite the accusation. And that's, of course, one that Republicans deny. So the ruling forces Texas to stick with the original 2021 map, which keeps them in control of 25 of the 38 House seats. And experts say it's probably going to cost them 5 Republican seats. Now, meanwhile, similar redistricting battles are erupting nationwide. California, for instance, Democrats are pushing a new map to target Republican-held seats. And that sparked a federal lawsuit from the Trump administration to block that effort. Meanwhile, Virginia, they're also redrawing their political maps, potentially giving Democrats an advantage if the court decisions uphold it. These new maps and the court rulings could easily tip the balance of power in Congress, where Republicans, as you know, currently have a razor-thin majority, Jody.
Wow. Well, thank you, Casey. On that, let's talk about some of the updates over the releasing of the Epstein files, especially after really a rare bipartisan support in both the House and the Senate. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, Jody, you're right. Yesterday, the Senate advanced the Epstein Files Transparency Act, which requires the DOJ to release files on the late convicted sex offender, Jeffrey Epstein. That measure passed by unanimous consent, which came shortly after the House also approved it almost unanimously. The bill is now headed to President Trump for his signature. Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer, he called the move a victory for the public and said Americans deserve the truth about Epstein's network and those who enabled his crimes.
This is about holding accountable all the people in Jeffrey Epstein's circle who raped, groomed, targeted, and enabled the abuse of hundreds of girls for years and years. The American people have waited long enough. Jeffrey Epstein's victims have waited long enough. Let the truth come out. Let transparency reign.
As you noted earlier, Jody, Attorney General Pam Bondi said the DOJ is going to release files from its investigation into Jeffrey Epstein within 30 days.
So we have released over 33,000 Epstein documents to the Hill, and we'll continue to follow the law and to have maximum transparency.
Everyone's eagerly waiting for those documents, which could shed new light on Epstein's activities, but more importantly, the connections that he had in a case that has fueled public scrutiny and a lot of conspiracy theories, Jody.
Yep, this is going to be very interesting to watch this unfold. Casey, if we can, let's shift to the Saudi Crown Prince having some congressional meetings. Are you hearing any specifics as to what came out of some of those meetings?
Yeah, Jody, we are starting to see details emerge. Now, Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman visited the U.S. Capitol today after visiting the White House yesterday, continuing his 2-day visit to the U.S. That visit has raised concerns, but it's also highlighted this renewed, stronger than ever economic and security relationship with the U.S. Now, earlier today, President Trump spoke at the U.S.-Saudi Forum, a speech I watched, where he touted the strength of relations between the two countries.
We officially designated the kingdom yesterday as the major non-NATO ally. That's a big deal. It's actually a very big deal. I just see how important that is to you and to a lot of your friends in the room. Sudan, and we're going to start working on Sudan. I didn't think that that was one that was going to be so easy to do, but we're going to start working.
As you can see there, President Trump is saying he's willing to step in to help end the war in Sudan at the request of the Saudi Crown Prince, just showing how strong that relationship is seeming to be, Jody.
All right, Casey, thank you so much. We always appreciate you giving us updates on what's happening in the news.